So what if I told you that Albert Einstein and, believe it or not, ancient spiritual knowledge actually agree on a pretty shocking fact, that time isn't really real, at least not in the way we usually think about it. Today, we're going to explore how these two totally different worlds, modern physics and spiritual philosophy, both point to the idea that our experience of time is, well, surprisingly flexible.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a wild question. Is it actually possible for you to age slower than someone else? I know, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but what if our basic, everyday understanding of time, that it just ticks along at the same pace for everyone, is just flat out wrong?
I mean, we all live by it, right? We feel it. It's this idea that time is like a huge, universal river, just flowing at the same steady pace for every single one of us, no matter where we are or what we're doing. It just makes sense. Except it's not true. That universal clock we all imagine, it just doesn't exist. Modern physics has shown us pretty definitively that our gut feeling about time is really just an illusion. Time isn't absolute. It's relative. The scientific principle that explains all this is called time dilation. It's a huge deal in modern physics, and really all it means is that the rate time passes can actually change depending on who's watching. So your clock and my clock can literally tick at different speeds. How crazy is that?
So how is that even possible? Well, for that, we've got to turn to one of the greatest minds in history, Albert Einstein. His theories of relativity just completely blew up our understanding of space and, more importantly for us, of time.
Einstein's work points to two main things that can literally bend and stretch time. First up is speed. The faster you move through space, the slower you experience time. Think of it like a cosmic speed limit where time itself slows down the faster you go. And second, there's gravity. It turns out massive objects actually warp the fabric of space-time. And the stronger that gravity is, the slower time flows. If you got near a black hole, for instance, time would stretch out and almost come to a complete stop.
And look, this isn't just some weird thought experiment. Time dilation is a real, measurable thing that affects our world and our technology every single day. Let's look at a couple of quick examples.
Get this, if you take a flight, you literally experience time differently, because the gravitational pull is weaker the higher you go. Clocks on airplanes actually run a tiny bit faster than clocks on the ground. We're talking about 10 nanoseconds for every kilometer of altitude. It's a super tiny amount, but it's real. And here's the opposite effect, but this time it's caused by speed. Astronauts on the International Space Station, they're whipping around the Earth at about 7.6 kilometers per second. It's incredibly fast. And because of that amazing speed, their clocks tick just a little bit slower. So, in a very real way, they are aging just a tiny fraction of a second slower than the rest of us down here on Earth. Okay, so if moving fast slows time down, what's the ultimate limit? Well, that would be the speed of light. It's the universe's absolute speed limit. If you could somehow travel at the speed of light, for you, time would just stop. You could cross the entire galaxy in what feels like an instant, only to come back and find that thousands of years have passed for everyone else. So, science is pretty clear. Physical speed and gravity can bend time. But it makes you wonder, what if there's another kind of speed that affects our reality? You know, what if our inner state, our consciousness itself, could also change how we experience time? And this is where we're going to pivot, from physics to a really fascinating spiritual perspective. Okay, so now we're going to explore a kind of parallel idea, a framework that suggests the speed of the soul can also make time relative. This idea comes from a spiritual tradition known as Behad knowledge, which is attributed to Puja Bapuji. The core concept here is that a soul has an inner energy, and this energy sets its speed. This spiritual speed then determines how time is experienced in different realms of creation. So you see the parallel? Just like in physics, speed, power, and time are all connected. And this isn't just some vague, abstract idea. This spiritual framework gives some really specific examples of just how dramatically the experience of time can change depending on the plane of existence. Okay, this table really shows the mind-boggling scale we're talking about. For a being in a higher realm, like a deva, a single clock tick for them is the same as a whole year for us on Earth. But that's nothing compared to Brahma. One single day and night for Brahma is equal to an almost unimaginable 8.64 times billion human years. That's nearly twice the age of our entire planet. This is time dilation on a truly cosmic spiritual level. So, what is so amazing here is that we have these two completely different ways of looking at the universe. You've got Einstein's physics, right, based on math and observation, and then you have this spiritual knowledge. But somehow, both of them, from their own unique angles, land on the same radical and profound idea. And that idea is this: time is not some fixed, universal constant ticking away in the background. It is a relative experience, and it's shaped and molded by the state of whoever is experiencing it.
So let's just wrap this all up. The huge takeaway here is that time is not absolute. Your personal experience of time depends completely on your state. For science, that state is all about your physical speed and the pull of gravity. For the spiritual knowledge we looked at, that state is defined by the inner speed and power of the soul. But in the end, both worldviews are telling us the same thing, that time, speed, and power, they're all deeply, fundamentally connected and relative. And that kind of leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. Whether we think about it in physical terms or spiritual ones, it seems our speed is what defines our reality and our very experience of time, which really begs the question, doesn't it? What are we all running towards?